Hello everybody, I hope you're well. So in today's class at TAC, we're going to be going over contour drawings. Yay, contour drawings. All right, so contour drawings, there's four different types of contour drawings. There's probably more, but I'm just going to discuss four. So we have blind contour, contour, and modify contour, and also cross contour. So these are the drawings that I'm going to be demoing on this video. That way you get an idea of what we're going to be doing in class and practicing. So one thing that I definitely want to discuss is that modify contour and cross contour also deals with line weight variation. And for those of you guys who haven't heard the term of the word line weight variation, it's basically quality of line. And when you think about quality of line, you're thinking about the thickness, the thinness, how dark it is, how light that line is, what type of line is it, squiggly or curly, or vertical, horizontal. That's the line weight variation that I will be discussing a little bit in this video and as well as in class. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So what you do need for today as far as materials are concerned is we're going to need a Sharpie. Hopefully you can see it, Sharpie, as well as we're going to need a small tip or fine tip Sharpie. This is a Sharpie, I know it doesn't say Sharpie. And then also you're just going to need a pencil when we go into our modified contours and also our cross contours. So I am using a newsprint, so this is definitely newsprint paper. I have about 4 sheets on my pad because it's going to be about 4 different drawings that we're going to do. So the first drawing, which is going to be a blind contour, I'm going to start with my Sharpie. So I'm also going to insert in this video my drawing. So I am drawing from observation. My reference is in front of me, and it's actually one cup. So in class, we're probably going to be doing multiple still life objects. I'm only doing one still life object, and it's actually a coffee cup or a teacup. I think that's what it is. So with blind contour, just a little background of blind contour. Blind contour is basically when you're drawing, you're just looking at the object. You're not looking at your paper, you're looking at the object while you're drawing, and you're not supposed to look at your paper. So this is more of an exercise, and it's more of a hand-eye coordination exercise, and it forces you to actually look at the object and actually examine the object and really try to get what you're seeing by not looking at your paper. Another thing that helps with this exercise that I personally love and I think is great is that it forces you to really think about that drawing is probably 90% of seeing, and then it's probably 10% of drawing. All of my information on this drawing is right in front of me. I don't need to pull anything out of my brain because I don't have to. All of my information I'm actually seeing, and all I have to do is transfer it to my paper. So with blind contour, let's get started on blind contour. So I have my pen or my Sharpie, and I want to make sure I'm staying within the frame because I cannot look at my hand. So I'm going to start my drawing. You can move fairly slowly if you need to. I do want to try my best to stay big on the frame because I don't want to get too small within the frame. So also with this drawing, you guys, you don't want to pick up your pen. So I can't pick up my pen, so I'm just going to kind of move around and get this part of the cup. There's a little wide opening of the cup, and then it comes to a taper, and then it opens up wide again. This is the little handle, and I want to try and get a little bit of a 3D out of this. If I can. I don't know if I can or not because I can't see what I'm doing, and I'm hoping I'm not out of the frame, but we'll see. also I want to get the base of my cup in. I'm going to try to get my ground plane in without picking up my pen. Alright guys, so this is blind contour. It's quite funny, yes it is. But with blind contour drawings, once again, it is an exercise that is not meant to have beautiful drawings, but I have seen very, very beautiful drawings out of blind contour. And I also seen some very creative abstract drawings of blind contour drawings, but it's more so of it's a hand and eye coordination exercise to force you to really look at what you're actually drawing and not try to pull out any symbols out of our brain that we know. We all know what a teacup look like, and we will tend to pull out these symbols out of our brain and not tend to actually look at what we need to look at when we're drawing from observation. So this is blind contour, so let's write that down. Blind contour. And pretty much we have to use one continuous line. We could not lift our pencil or our pen or our Sharpie. And you come to an end product with that. Guys, so next we're going to do is contour drawing. So the difference between blind contour and contour drawing is that contour drawing, you can actually see what you're doing versus doing it blind. So you get to look at your paper. The only difference is, not a difference, one of the main things that's the same is that you can't lift your pen. So it's a little bit more difficult not being able to lift your pen. So let's get started on this. So I'm just going to check to make sure that my Sharpie is working, and then we're going to go ahead and go into it. So I don't want to lift my pen at all. I do want to slow down just a little bit. Like I said, I got to move a little bit faster due to time. So I'm looking at my drawing as well as I'm looking at what I'm seeing. So I kind of want to come in and get the lip of the cup and come around again. Once again, I don't want to lift my pen. I'll come down. It tapers in just a bit here, and then it comes out, comes back down, comes in. There's a base that's smaller. Come up. I'm going to try and wrap around for the base here. I'll wrap around again. Just want to get a little bit of corrections, but not a lot. Come out. This is where the handle starts. I'm working inside. I get some of these planar shapes inside. This comes up and out, comes over, it also connects in here. I'm going to come back down and come up, and I'm going to come back around. And try and get this part of the handle. Try to come down. I want to get more of a thickness. If I can. Around. Come down. way because I want to get this side in. And I also want to come up this way. And this connects around. So I kind of want to fix just a bit. I kind of feel like, there we go. And that's more here. Alright guys, so this, I am out of the frame, oh my goodness. This is my contour cup. I'm gonna try and come in and get a little bit of a ground plane in here if I can. It's not the best thing in the world. I probably should have slowed down a lot more, but you get an idea of this exercise. It's just using one continuous line and what can you do with that, and also you get to see my mistakes and trying to correct things. I've seen some really good contour drawings, better than this demo, but you get an idea of what it is. So you guys, this is my contour drawing. So I'm gonna go ahead and write this down. This is our contour. This wasn't meant to be a beautiful drawing, just like our first one, but you get an idea of what to do within this exercise. So the next exercise we're going to do is modify contour. So I'm going to break a clip and then I'll be back in the next one with the modified contour. So the next drawing we're gonna do is modified contours. So the modified contour is basically using contour lines to describe 3D form. So you can describe, using contour lines, you can describe 3D forms, the outline of a form, as well as you can describe the planar shifts that makes up the inner corners or the inside of a drawing. You can draw that as well using contour lines. So planar shifts are mainly shape. They're mainly shape, let's say this shape that's here, like shape against shape against shape against shape, that creates form, like a whole form. And a way to go about kind of explaining that, and hopefully I can kind of do it in the corner, is when we use contour lines, we tend to think about contour lines as outlines. So if I have a cube that's here, and I'm just trying to draw out the outlines of the cube. So this is my outline that's here. And this can be contour line because you're describing your outlines. And then also we can have planar shifts, which are here. This is one plane, another plane, which is here, and another plane that's here. And when all these planes connect together, that gives you 3D form. So this is outlines, this is planes, and this is 3D form, because we have a cube. So when we think of contour drawings, you really just think about outlines. So I'm just getting the outlines, but contour drawings actually it basically, you're getting the outlines, but you're also getting the outlines of what's happening in the interior as well. So the interior is kind of like the lines of the planes when they connect together. So that's what you want to think about when it comes to, okay, I'm using a modified contour, meaning I'm getting the outlines and I'm getting inner corners, which in another video I would discuss linear structure, because that's the two elements of linear structure. That's what you're doing, but you're utilizing contour lines to do it. So let's get started with that. So a modified drawing, it's very similar to a sustained gesture, which I talked about in my last video and my last demo for this. So I'm gonna start with a line gesture just to get it down. I'm not gonna worry too much about proportions or anything, details or anything. I just want to come in and get this drawing down really quick in its simplest form. So I kind of got an idea really lightly for what it is. So now that I have this kind of line gesture in, that kind of gives me a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. Now I can come in and modify it. And modifying it, you want to get it close to what you're actually seeing. So I'm going to come in with a center line because I want to make sure what's happening on one side is definitely happening on the other. We're not dealing with proportions. We really just want to get hand and eye coordination together, but start to get an idea for a proportion. So I need to make sure what's happening here makes sense on that side too. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to build on this. And right now, I'm just working with that outline. I am picking up my pencil. Because with modifying, you can definitely do that. Also, you guys, this helps with line weight variation, and I would definitely talk about line variation in class, but I'm definitely going to talk a little bit about it in this demo. So line weight variation is getting, or line quality, some people know that vocab a little bit easier, but line variation is getting the thickness and the thinness of a line, as well as you're getting the value, which is the lights and darks of a line. But you got to think about the line type. What type of line are you using? Are you using a curved line? Are you using a vertical line? Are you using a squiggly line? Like, those are the things that you have to think about when you go into line weight variation. And you pulling out these lines to make sure that you're describing what you're seeing at its best. So if you see something that's curved, you're gonna use a curved line. If you see something that's squiggly, you're gonna use that squiggly line. So you want to make sure you're choosing the right line for what you're describing. That's very, very important. So I'm coming in, still kind of using a light line because I'm not really sure about what I want the sea lips to look like. I'm just gesturing in a little bit more right now. Do want to make sure I got some good spacing, things are looking a little bit more even. So I'm just trying to look at what's on this side, like what's on that side. Honestly, I think I need to come over just a bit. So that's why it's probably really good to stay light and don't do what I just did. So I can come in and just, I don't mind my lines being here, so I'm just gonna lighten it up so it's not too much going on. So I'm able to move a little bit slower. Just a little bit, not a lot. So when we get into proportions and proportion boxes, it'll definitely help this process of getting things a little bit more accurate to what you're seeing. And also mirroring. Mirroring is very, very important. I'm just going to draw a line over this right there. I just want to make sure that this and this is about the same. So I'm still using a light lines because I'm not 100% confident with what lines I want to use. So I like to use a lot of lines because it helps me it helps me get the right line. So I don't mind having wrong lines on my paper because it's going to help me get the right line, and that's what you're looking for, is the right line. Have this, so I kind of want to move up here. I think that's where it starts. And I need to come around. Right here. I'm going to draw through just a bit. I do want to look at my negative space. And once again, I'll go into negative space a little bit more when we get there, but that's what I'm looking at right now. I want to pay attention to the thickness of this. I'm going to move up just a bit. And I also see this connection that's here. So I'm really slowing down and just kind of looking for these planar shift connections to get a little bit more of that form to pop, and we're not just looking at something that is it's just two-dimensional. Try to make this a little bit bigger. And then this kind of comes up just a bit more. I'm thinking. So I'm just going to get rid of or lighten up some lines so it's a little bit clearer on what I'm doing. I'm not lining up a whole lot. So I have that in. I also want to come in and get the lip that I'm seeing. So that would definitely help with getting a little bit more 3D form in. That 3D form is very important. bit of a lip that's here. Alright, so we have that. I do want to, I'm going to sharpen my pencil just a little bit, not a lot, real quick. I want to come in and I want to think about line weight variation if I can. And if you think about it, just with me coming on a gesture, leaving some of my correction lines there, I already have a good idea of some type of different lines that are happening. So I have a lot of variation that's happening, but I want to come in and I want to give it more of a contour look if I can, but still think about where is it dark, where is it hard, where is that line soft, where is that line firm, where, you know, I just want to think about these things if I can. So normally what's closest to us is going to be a lot darker, and normally when the object is placed on the table, the object is which is basically the pit. There's no light that's hitting, so that's going to be a lot darker. So I'm just coming in really quick and getting my table ground plane in again. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to make this line a little bit darker. But I'm also going to allow it to be a little bit more fuzzy in some areas. As it moves back. Same thing here. I'm going to allow it to get a little bit fuzzy as it moves back. Alright, so now that I have that, I also want to come in on the side. So I do have my object lit, so I can kind of see where some areas it's a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, a little bit lighter. And this roundabout I can get a little bit darker in this roundabout in some areas. Same thing on this side, because my object is lit, I can come in a little bit darker. So this is kind of the shadow side. So now that I have that, I can come in and I'm going to get a little bit of my lip in. Closest to me. It kind of get a little fuzzy as I move away. On this side. And then there's a little light that's hitting here. I'm just going to let this be a little bit soft. Move around. Get a little bit more. And I'm going to come in a little bit darker here. And kind of let it fade out a bit. Just a little bit here. Alright. And then on this side, I can get a little bit darker in this area. bit of fuzz in some areas. Buzzing out some areas on top of that. Alright guys, so this is a modified contour drawing. So the next drawing that I'm going to do, and it's not really a drawing because we're going to do cross contour. So in class we're going to do another drawing and then we're going to cross contour it. In my demo, I'm just going to cross contour this drawing. That way you can kind of get an idea for it and know what it is, and I can kind of eliminate spending too much time on the drawing. So we're going to use this drawing for our cross contour as well. Alright, so cross contouring is getting the contour that's around as well as getting the contour vertically, diagonally, however it is. But we just want to describe the form with cross contour, and it's good to have an idea of this because when we go into rendering and cross hatching, that helps you describe the form. So I'm gonna go ahead and start, and I'm gonna try and keep my lines a little bit light if I can. And then this is an outward plane, downward plane, downward plane, outward plane. It's moving down, downward plane. Same thing here, downward, outward, downward, outward plane, downward plane that kind of bends down, outward, rounds out, downward plane again. So we can do a little bit on the inside. So when we want to wrap it around. I'm gesturing just a bit. Wrap around. Wrap around. And so this gives you cross contour, and with cross contour you can define dips and swells. So the rounding of the belly of the cup, the tapering of the cup, the top of the lip, downward of the lip, that definitely helps with that. Like even if we came over, we can get a plane from the top of the handle, downward, upward facing, downward, first across, across, and across, and across. Same thing here. That under plane that's there. Also a plane that's there. So I can kind of darken it if I need to. So I'm going to do an upward plane, coming down, downward, and darken some of these dip swells. Keep it light, darken. This is turning away. Darken. Same thing here. I'll do this side, it's just easier to see. Downward. And kind of get a little bit of that darkness there. And darken under and down. So if I do a cross section, darken what's closest to me. Allow a little bit of that light to hit. Come around. Darken what's closest to me. And allow a little bit of light to hit as well. Here, wrap around. And of course we have the bottom. So that gives you an idea of cross contouring as well as a modified contour drawn as well. So this is definitely what we're going to be doing in class. I hope you guys are excited and ready for this. I do need to mark this, that way you guys kind of know. So this is my modified contour and my cross contour. Yay. So I hope this would definitely help. It's just a little demo for in class. This is what we're definitely going to be doing for class on Wednesday. So hopefully this helps anybody or anybody in the class or anybody in particular. But this kind of gives you an idea of the 4 types of contour drawings that's out there. And really when you think of contour, it's basically dealing with the contour line, which is one line that's continuous. It also deals with utilizing more of a modified contour line, which deals with outlines. It also deals with the outlines of the planes connecting to definitely get you formed, that little cube that's there. So it's a good exercise to practice. So when we get to linear structure, which I will do a video on that, our drawings are going to be looking a lot more cleaner, a lot more refined. You're definitely going to get ellipses. You're going to be drawing through and seeing through. So it's going to be a lot lot more construction that's involved in linear structure, but this is kind of the step towards it. So hopefully this helps, and I would definitely see you guys in class. And also for my YouTube viewers, hope you enjoy and continue to watch, and hopefully you can continue to subscribe and get new subscribers. But if you like it, subscribe. If you like the video, push the like button, and thank you so much. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.